It's Byron from Behind the Scene here, and I'm on the phone with the boys from Through It All, Sean, Lochlan, and Josh. Now, how are we going, lads?
Really good, thanks.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah, good, bro.
And could you give us a little bit of information behind each of you? I guess we'll start with Sean and then move around the metaphorical circle.
Little bit about me. I've been playing music in hardcore metal, my whole life really. I'm 32 now this year, and been doing it most of my life, going in and out of bands. I spent half of that time in the military, and other odd jobs, and now we're in COVID, and nice to meet you.
That's a pretty good introduction.
So I'm Lochlan. I'm the drummer of the band. I've just for the whole drumming career, I've just wanted to be in a band. I've been in a two before this, one kind of serious, but nothing on the level of these guys. And I can feel like my dreams are kind of coming true to just play in a sort of established band that I see a future with.
Mm-hmm.
That's me. On to Josh.
Good stuff. Hang on, Byron. It's Josh.
Hey man, how are ya?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I play guitar in the band, and I've been in a few bands before. I was in a metalcore band for a long time, and then I was in another metalcore band that they're both gone. They're both gone now, but one was lost their life, and the other one was below oceans for a short amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had some pretty fun experiences playing shows, and I just love it. So when Sean gave us the opportunity to jump on guitar, I could not say no because I just love it so much. It's good fun.
No,
and it's something different. I'm not really experiencing hardcore music, as you'd say, more towards the metalcore sort of side. So this is sort of pushing my comfort zone a little bit too, which is good.
No, that's what you want. Bringing a few different tastes to the table, and I mean, how have you found hardcore and metalcore aren't too dissimilar, but how have you found your different tastes and variations have come together within the songwriting of the band?
Well, that's a really tough one because Sean and I were talking about this earlier today. We don't really think. I know when I pitch an idea to the guys, I'm not really thinking, how is this going to sound? It's more the way I think of it, how it's going to feel. What will this do to the crowd? Is it going to be groovy? Is it going to be a bouncy song? Is it going to be something to mosh to? Anything like that. So I don't think the influence is too much.
Yeah, it doesn't confuse you too much or anything.
Yeah, whatever kind of sound. I know every band will say this about themselves, but the sounds that we bring forward, I feel are pretty unique. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's just us. There's no hardcore metalcore vibe in mind for us. It's just whatever we think sounds good.
Yeah, for me, it's just all the same stuff, just different words to describe it. Means different things for different people. I don't know. I'm a fan of it all, so I like bringing it all together.
No, it sounds like you all mesh pretty well together. Was there any kind of, I guess, butting heads initially, or did you all kind of just sit down and just write and then be like, all right, this is our groove that we're kind of carving throughout it all?
Not as much as you might think. I think it was really easygoing. It was really easygoing. We even had two friends and members that left, and when COVID hit, and it was not a problem at all. It was just everyone's got their own thing going on. And we just kept going, and we found Lochlan, and it's because we're such in the new stage of being a band. It's just we're not in that crazy space of I don't know, smashing each other over the head with a hammer.
Yeah, no, it is. It's definitely. I mean, I guess still in the infancy, especially with COVID. It's kind of made a few roadblocks for yourselves, but you kind of broke through. Last year, the year that was, with Breakthrough, as it were.
Yeah.
How was the reception of such a defining debut single? Did it open doors that you hadn't seen before, or was it kind of the kind of reception that you were expecting?
On a personal note, because it was a solo project just before then, I had no expectations of anyone giving a shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought it was just my average music taste thing that I did. I put my average vocals on it, and I thought, yeah, this will be fun. And all the guys, were jumping in on the music video and whatnot, and I thought, yeah, this will be fun. But the reception was just wild, and it's still, it's just crazy. So, yeah, I don't know. People like it. We like doing it. So, yeah, what do you think of it, guys?
Yeah, I think it was fantastic. Like, just coming in after, like, the other members had decided to leave, like, I remember first hearing it and just being like, wow, like, this is intense. I love it. And, like, coming from not drumming for nearly a full year before it, like, kicked my ass. So, like, getting to play with him, with these guys, and, like, I thought it was fantastic. Josh?
Yeah, when Sean first sent me the demo, I was like, hell yeah. And that was pretty much how I started, yeah. I just started learning it, and then it was just Sean and I had a prac. We played guitar together, and then we just gelled from there, and then just all systems go from then on.
Yeah.
No, hectic. And I mean, like, yeah, did you guys have a lot of stuff lined up for, I mean, obviously it was like a kind of a one-man show for the most part of 2020 until the rest of you kind of came around and Pat and Andrew and even Nick had their kind of touches on everything. But was 2020 meant to be, a bigger year for you guys, or was it still kind of just writing, see what would come and how it would...
Yes, and like it was just meant to be like this, we've released something, what do people think? But even before that release, my plan was to book an Indonesian tour.
Mm-hmm.
And just write some real rough songs and just feel like a band for like a year. That was like my main goal. I had no interest in like touring Australia or anything. I just wanted to just book some random ass fucking tours, go on holiday, and yeah. But then Breakthrough happened, and it showed me that the Australian public, I guess, from the media point of view, was like, oh shit, it's actually well received, and yeah, so it surprised me, and I was like, okay, well, let's have a look at what we can do. And then COVID hit pretty much straight after, so it was like, okay, never mind.
Yeah, it was definitely a trying time for bands, and I mean, especially having released your debut a matter of weeks before, half the country was in lockdown and border closures and everything was to follow.
There's
you guys...
a video online of a guy shooting a rocket, or he's trying to like make a homemade rocket, and it just like does this poor attempt at launching and then flopping, and I was like, yeah, that looks like us.
I can see the memes coming from that now. Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously it gave you a fair bit of time to write, and this year you've brought out your new single Peacekeeper. Is that also coming from a bit of a personal level? Like, I mean, you touched on before that you were in the Defence Force. Is that kind of to do with that?
No, it's definitely, because being in music and part-time army most of my life, singing about music or writing about, army stuff was never intentional, but because of what happened in the media, what we all saw and stuff, and people going off their nut online about stuff, it really hit close to home in terms of what I've experienced, and I thought, you know what not better to write about than myself and what I already know. So I just, titled the track Peacekeeper, put some personal words on it, and it's just a little sort of introduction into that side of my life, but it's, yeah.
No, that's fair enough. How has the reception of that been? I know it's only been out for a couple of weeks now. Have you seen much in the stirrings of Facebook and the social medias regarding it all?
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Everyone's really getting on board with it.
I mean, my mum cried happy tears, so
that's hectic. Fuck yeah.
I think it's been pretty great so far, the reception. Everyone, like, I'm waiting for that one hate comment because this is going to be hilarious, but like, yeah, like so many people are sharing it. Like, there's been people.
Videos already pushing 500 views or something.
Yeah, it's like in just like a couple of days, it's hit like over 400 views, getting to 500. And I've had people from like my past that I haven't spoken to for ages like share it, and it blows me away.
No, the support sounds like it's definitely there, and it sounds like you're definitely being backed by the right groups and good friends and whatnot too. And I mean, so much so that you're playing the release show with Heartsick.
and Spectre.
Spectre, yeah, I've heard Spectre before, but I've never heard of Heartsick. I mean, how did you guys, were you friends with those bands prior, or was it kind of just like, hey, we're releasing cool music, you guys got cool music, let's collab, or what was the story behind that?
Basically, Brandon from Spectre and the vocalist of Bury Me, I think his band is. He's been a close acquaintance over the years, and I've been watching him as he's been doing his I think it's Borderline.
Yeah.
Touring. Yeah, so I've just been in touch with him. He's been saying when you're ready for shows, and and then he just hit me up, said I've got a show, and I said, you know what, let's fucking do it. So that's it. We're coming out. We're going to play our first show. We've got some songs together. We're going to play a Kublai cover. Going to play our first demo I ever wrote in this band back in 2017, and it's going to be a special night. So I hope anyone can make it, and
Well, that's it. That's the 5th of March down at the Diamond Dogs Music Lounge, Dapto. So that's it's something to look forward to. It's almost just under a month away. Are you? I mean, obviously you're rehearsing right now. I've got you in the middle of a rehearsal, but does it feel good? I mean, obviously it feels good getting back in the studio, but does it feel like it's all been worth it? Like having to bide your time for that long?
I guess. What do you guys think? It's worth it.
Yeah, it's built up the more like the excitement to be able to get on stage again.
Yeah.
I think we're just more keen to get on and play more than anything, and like being able to practice. We've been practicing every Saturday since God knows how long.
Yeah.
So it'd just be good to be able to just play, even if it's a seated audience. It'd just be good to play for people.
Yeah,
get on stage.
It's I look at it like a fucking caged animal. It's just like. Yeah, waiting, and like when you finally release it, it's going to come out swinging. So I feel like that's the kind of mentality we're going in with. It's just going to be, we're going to give everything into it. Being a debut show, like one of the early shows post-COVID, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, there hasn't been, too many opportunities even this year so far for shows. So it's really refreshing seeing shows being booked left, right, and centre. Like I kind of miss, I'm from New South Wales myself, from, the Hunter Valley region. So it's good seeing bands and I'd seen Path of Victory before, and I'd seen Below Ocean. I've seen them back in Newcastle back in the day. Like, there's so many bands, man, that I've seen. So it's just like, fuck, am I screwing it up or not? But no, it's really refreshing seeing people and musicians, and even like the merch people. I knew some merch people back in the day are in bands now. It's like, holy shit! It really is almost like a full circle of just creatives, like you're not really pigeonholed too much. Like, you can be in a metalcore band, you can be in a hardcore band, but then you go to an alternative band. I even know some people who are in like beatdown bands who now do like cyberboy hip hop type of stuff, and it's just like it's really wicked seeing the Australian scene come together. I mean, even through the adversity and everything that's been going on. Has there been?
Yeah.
Has there been anything that you guys have learned, I guess, more in through it all than you had in previous projects, or has it just been like kind of a accumulation of little bits and pieces from each individual journeys?
I've never known there's so many combinations for open, first fret, fourth fret, third fret.
Chug.
Down picking.
That's what you want.
Yeah. Well, I don't know these guys, but like just the bands that I was in before, like, or one like serious band really, like those guys are great and I love them so much. But like just what these guys bring to the table just challenges me in all the best ways, and yeah, it's just fantastic. I just can't really talk high enough about it.
Yeah, much the same as they said. It's, coming from doing it from other bands, and it's just much the same. And even what you were saying earlier about seeing people in the community from other bands doing other stuff, yeah, we've seen that too. And yeah, it's just awesome to see people make new bands, seeing guitarists get onto the microphone like myself, and here we go, 2021.
That's
And
what
like
you
just
want.
quickly as well, touching on that, like everyone, like you'll always see the comments about people overseas saying about like Australian bands just being like, there's something in the water there, but like not to mention like just the Australian scene as well. Like at least everyone knows someone, I reckon.
100%. Yeah, yeah. It's a massive
Like,
family. It really
it's so
is.
good. Everyone seems so supportive and like so genuine as well, which is the best thing about it.
Yeah.
There needs to be like a massive Australian scene Christmas party, I reckon.
Yes.
Yeah. Who the hell organises shows these days? Hey, I don't even know.
Make it a big festival.
Yeah. Just book out an entire small country town and just run rampant.
That's what they used to do.
Like unified? Is that what the?
Yeah, I mean, Unify got yeah, I mean, obviously it got pushed back and it got pushed back again, and then it was meant to happen in, I think, March or April of this year, and then like they were going to do an Australian only festival, but then I'm not entirely sure what happened, and then they've pushed it back again till next year. So
It's totally expected because as I've been to Unified, there's a lot of working parts in that gig. So
dude, there's what, there's like 300 staff or something crazy for the, for every like punter, like every 5 punters is like a staff working. So it's like, yeah, it's a massive event, but it's wicked. I've only been to a few Unifieds, but they've all been super memorable. I mean, other than when I've been shit faced, but
Byron, I bumped into you at the last Unify.
I'd say so.
See this guy, and I'm like, hey!
That would have been either when I was about 6 Fatlands deep or on some other type of substance. But
Yeah, see, those are the times Sean barely remembers. So he probably wasn't even actually talking to you.
The weather of that festival was horrible.
Oh, dude, it was. I mean, the best things for me to come out of that was seeing Diamond Construct play the Big Top and absolutely slay it. But yeah, the weather was so fucked. Like, it was so shit. I mean, but it's not Unified. It's shit weather, hey.
At least the people were nice, and that made up for it.
That's exactly right. You make like new friends every year, and if you don't, then you're doing something wrong. But I mean, talking about Through It All and your new track again, who kind of like the font and like the logo of the band, was that something that you guys did in house, or was that like how does it come apart? I always love hearing the origin stories of like band names and how they decide to go with a particular logo or font and all that. So can you give me a bit of insight?
Yeah, sure. So Through It All, the band name, I decided to go for it a while back. It was Through It All was the first track that my old band made back in 2008. We had like 3 songs, and Through It All was one of them, and it was just like really rough, like wannabe hardcore song, but sounded fucking weird. And but nonetheless, it was like, it just stuck out to me for years. I remember bringing it up all the time. How good's that Through It All song? And then it wasn't until I started my solo project, I'm like, I like Through It All as a band name. I don't know, it just fits.
Yeah,
the only other option was I was going to call it Mindset, and then make the band a little bit more spoken word melodic hardcore. But I thought, I don't want to just genre-rise, I'm not sure what the word is, like specific genre.
Yeah, pigeonhole yourself too much. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought, I'll make it Through It All, I'll do a heavy song, which is what I'm used to. And I hit up Chris Zargas. And he was just all over his work. He's working the scene with making band logos, music videos.
He's a crazy good digital drawer. Holy shit. He's got some amazing stuff, hey?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I don't know how he does it.
So I take it that's where the single art came from as well? Or
the single art. No, so that was a different approach. I was struggling trying to find the right art for this song. I went through so many things trying to just find the right art. And even the song, I actually wrote like 2 to 3 singles before I was happy with this one, because I just had no idea what I wanted, and I was being super prima donna about it all. Like, I don't know what I want. This isn't good enough. And then, I finally settled on the song, and I hit up this guy from Indonesia, Gunda, and I saw he's got some cool artwork. He drew up this rose And it was just what I was sort of going for, that subtle sort of Peacekeeper touch, whatnot. Wanted something I wanted to use on shirts as well. So it all came together eventually after stressing about what to do, and yeah.
No, it looks super clean. It's like really, obviously it's the forefront of the single art, but it just looks, it looks like it'd be sick on shirts. It looks like it'd be sick on posters. Like, it's just a really, really cool composition.
Yeah, well, I'm glad, yeah. And on that, doing the music video with Corey, that was awesome.
Fuck yeah, Corey and Nathan.
Yeah, seeing me, well,
hectic.
That dude, he better start paying us for all the nice things we say about him. For real though, I like, this is the first music video I've ever done, and so, but I reckon for the rest of them, he's just set the bar so high, because just for what we paid for, the quality we got was just out of this world. Anyone who watches the video can see that it's just amazing. But behind the scenes as well, he knew what he was doing. Every little request, he was just like, oh yeah, you want that changed? No worries, done. And man, he was just such a joy to work with.
No, that's hectic. That's exactly what you want. And I mean, I've worked with him and by him a fair few times. We've shot the same gig a bunch of times. He's shot for BTS a few times back in the day. He's genuinely a really good dude. So that's really good. Yeah, it's really good to hear when bands are even more impressed, I guess, than obviously music videos are not the easiest thing to conceptualize or to work with, and sometimes you hear about really painful videographers and just people who are like, no, we're doing this. But it's really refreshing hearing that you guys worked on it very collaboratively, and he went even further, I guess, than you need to in that type of instance. That's really wicked to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, other than the gig that you've got next month, what are kind of the rest of the plans for you guys as a band? Are you writing an EP, or are you writing a few more tracks? I know you talked about the demo the first demo that you wrote. You're playing live in March, but is there an EP coming, or what's kind of on the horizons?
Yeah, we've all kind of agreed. I think that's the next logical step for us is just smash out this show. Show people what we've got live. Obviously, play as many shows as we can in the meantime. But just knuckling down, writing a kick-ass EP, and just showing people even more what we've got. Really, just because we like we said before, we've all got ideas floating around, different not demos, but just like I said, just ideas. We're all bringing something new to the table each time we come practice. So, definitely an EP. It's hopefully end of this year.
Yeah, it's
hopefully. Pending COVID.
No, that sounds wicked. That sounds exactly what the people want, and as well as you guys, obviously. You need to want to make music to write music, but it sounds like you're all going to give it your all, and I mean, after this, your debut show, which is wicked. I mean, I know it is relatively too early to tell, but are you planning on playing a few more shows this year if things all line up, or are you going to take it a bit slow, or?
Yeah, depending on what shows are going, and what venues are open, it's so hard to keep up. One show's open and then COVID hits again. We're trying to stay open, but I'm more than happy to hit up shows, especially the possibility of touring, not touring so much, but hitting up places outside of our hometown, like Melbourne, Brisbane. The idea of doing that seems a little bit more doable, because, I don't know, it might, just be easier than sort of trying to do heaps of shows in New South Wales, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, just a few weekenders here and there, and kind of spreading the good word. Yeah, no, I feel that. That's wicked. Are there any bands that you'd want to share this stage with, local bands, or obviously bigger bands as well, that you'd be keen to play with, or that you have kind of goals?
that Diamond Construct tour looks pretty lit.
Yeah. They're a fucking sick band. They're super good dudes too.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know, man.
Like that would be like the dream. But for other like local bands, I'm always fucking talking about like Father Dear Hands and Take My Soul. Just dudes that like I've met at concerts or like their gigs and like had like the briefest of chats and be like, wow, you guys seem like really cool. Like playing a show would be sick.
Yeah, basically anyone that wants to have a gig, just hit us up. Hit us up, hey.
Yeah, well, you heard it here first. Just hit the boys up. They want to play shows. Is there any parting words or anything you want to kind of leave for whoever's listening to this?
First of all, I guess thank you.
Yeah.
Like, this is a really big thing for all of us. Like, everyone's gone through the struggles with COVID, musicians everywhere, but us also being a new band and kind of coming back from it as well. If you've taken the time to listen to Peacekeeper, listen to Breakthrough, look at our merch, anything like that to do with this, we appreciate the hell out of it. We're only going to go up from here. Because just the things that we have and that we're going to create, it's just going to be awesome. We're going to give it our all. And yeah, just basically just a big thank you.
Yeah, exactly what Lochlan said. Yeah.
Yep, agree.
No, that's wicked. It sounds like you guys have got, your sights set on where you want to be, and you're well aware of, I guess, the kind of road bumps that have happened, and that, there are, unexpectedly expected future road bumps that are going to pop up. But it does sound like you've all got your heads screwed on, and you know what you want to achieve, and you have the path to achieve it. Especially three of you, like in the one phone call. Usually I just talk to one band member and they're like, oh, look, I don't quite know how to answer that question. Like, that's usually my guitarist's job or whatnot. But it's really neat having, I guess, almost the full picture of you guys and being able to really flesh out a few more of those questions.
Shout out to our bass player Barnsey, who can't make it. He lives about South Sydney, and he's got a kid on the way, so he's going to be at our show and everything, but yeah, you can't always be for every prep. So shout out to Andrew, Barnsey.
There we go. Huge shout outs. Thank you so much for you guys' time as well. I know that I've eaten up a fair bit of your prac time. Yeah, if there's any other things that you guys want to shout out local bands, or, we've done a few shout outs to local artists and videographers and stuff, but feel free.
If anyone wants a shout out to Denny. Denny from Vilify. She's going to fill in second guitar for our show. We've had a practice with her, and she's heaps keen for the show. So yeah, check out Vilify, Newcastle hardcore band.
Huh?
Yeah, again, like I said, Father Dear Hands, Take My Soul. They're just great.
Yeah,
that's about it, man.
Yeah, no worries. Well,
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
It's my pleasure.